Dangerous, everybody circling as vultures, negative, nepotist, everybody waiting for the fall of man, everybody praying for the end of times, everybody hoping they could be the one. I was born to run, I was born for this. Whip, run me like a racehorse, pull me like a ripcord, break me down and build me up. I wanna be the slip, word upon your lip, rather that you rip, break me down and build me up. Whatever it takes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this live stream will begin shortly. Thank you.
Hypothetical, working on something that I'm proud of. Out of the box, an epoxy to the world and the vision we've lost. I'm an apostrophe. I'm just a symbol to remind you that there's more to see. I'm just a product of the system of catastrophe, and yet a masterpiece, and yet I'm half diseased. And when I am deceased, at least I go down to the grave and die happily, and leave the body of my soul to be a part of me. I do what it takes, whatever it takes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this live stream will begin in 4 minutes. Thank you.
Ooh. K-Swish. Ooh. Yeah, going 8 like nigga. Move out the way, please don't be a hero. Bling blow, ooh, chains on skateboard P. Bling blow, ooh, chains on skateboard P. Yeah, going 8 like nigga. Move out the way, please don't be a hero. Bling blow, ooh, chains on skateboard P. Ooh, bling blow, ooh, chains on skateboard P. Hey, yeah, made that money on a Monday. Yeah, ratchet bit on the runway. Ooh, throw that money on the runway. Yeah, ratchet bitch on the runway. Yeah, took her on a double date. She tryna eat good steak up on a plate. Gucci on my feet, ooh, Gucci on my face. Yeah, she a thought, get up out my face. Move, damn, hurry, woo. Diamond McFlurry, woo. Staking my money, woo. Move, yeah, hurry, woo. Diamond McFlurry, woo. Staking my money, woo. We make a movie, boo. Yeah, going 8 like nigga. Move out the way, please don't be a hero. Bling, blow, ooh, chains on skateboard P. Bling, blow, ooh, chains on skateboard P. Yeah, going 8 like nigga. Move out the way, please don't be a hero. Bling, blow, ooh, chains on skateboard P. Bling, blow, ooh, chains on skateboard P. Yeah, hold up, baby girl, yeah, you know I got it. Ooh, yeah, ooh, nigga kinda poppin'. I been buying Louis, I been shopping. Gotta get it, ooh.
Hello, welcome to Appleosophy Weekly, episode 7, where we talk about the latest Apple news of the week. before we get this episode started, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And you can follow us at the username at Appleosophy, AppleOsophy. And be sure to visit our website at appleosophy.com. So before we get this episode started, I'll just like to let you know that we have a special YouTuber guest that'll be joining the show next week. But YouTuber Appleworld will be joining Appleosophy Weekly on March 10th. But our official press release we sent out a few days ago, we said Appleosophy is proud to announce YouTuber Appleworld, who has over 16 million views. He will be joining Appleosophy Weekly on March 10th at 2:00 p.m. CDT. But Appleworld reports on the latest Apple news and leaks on YouTube. He also does reviews and unboxings. Appleworld has over 125,000 subscribers with great knowledge of Apple news. But this special episode of Appleosophy Weekly will be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Alexa, and more podcast services. Appleosophy Weekly is all available. Before we get into the news, I'd like to introduce back Chris on the show. Chris, thank you for joining today's episode.
Yeah, no problem, Holden. I mean, it's good to be back, although I couldn't make it last week.
We had some technical issues there.
Yeah, it's still good to be
it's
involved.
great. Yeah, it's great we resolved those issues and you're back. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is AirPods. Okay. So there's been some rumors going on that there's been quite a few rumors going on about the AirPods 2. So we're just going to be talking about the current rumors right now. So AirPod wireless charging will charge the full in 15 minutes, thicker and heavier case. Alright, so AirPods, so these are some new rumors. But Chris, what do you think of the AirPods wireless charging being able to charge full in 15 minutes?
I think that's a pretty,
I think it's a good achievement, honestly.
Yeah, it's an amazing, technological feat to overcome, because I mean you've got to think about how to do that basically within 15 minutes, and then making sure that it doesn't overheat, it doesn't explode, the battery it doesn't go haywire.
Right, because Apple has been struggling getting wireless.
Yeah, that was the main reason. Yeah, the main reason why AirPower hasn't come out yet is just because they can't grasp that technology, and so I think it will be really interesting to see, whether they'll be able to pull this off with AirPods 2.
Right, yeah. But so one thing, everyone's pissed off right now. It's true. I know a lot of people are pissed off, but there's a pro to con of this, okay? So AirPod wireless charging. So Apple's been promising the AirPods wireless charging case. Chris, guess how many days we've been waiting for? Guess.
I'd say it's about like 200 now.
Oh no. Yeah, guess
Is
one more time.
Is that more or less?
There's more.
Oh wow.
Here, want me to tell you?
Yeah, okay.
According to 9 to 5 Mac, Apple has been promising the AirPods wireless charging case for over 537 days and counting.
Oh wow.
I know.
I really underestimated that.
No. Yeah, me too, dude. Like, I totally did not expect that.
Well, I mean, I think it's really just poor on their end, because they've been promising a product for that long.
Right. So the thing about Apple is they don't want to be like Samsung. Okay, they don't want to be. Okay, they don't want to rush their product out, and they don't want to recall their products. Okay, so the good thing is Apple rather do this right and then completely making it a product that will like overheat in your pocket or whatever, if you know what I mean. But yeah, but Apple's trying to like make it like Apple's trying to get the quality for its customers, which I think is a good thing. But the bad thing, Apple should never sneak peek this at the iPhone 10 press event. They should have never leaked. They should have never teased it. I hope they learned their lesson about that. But overall, it's annoying, and
yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. Sorry, it's disappointing on their end, because like they've been promising this, that like they've been basically hyping it up. Oh, you're gonna have this wireless charging pad and this wireless charging feature for AirPods and stuff like that.
Right.
And I think it's a huge letdown for the fact that they've mentioned it and haven't given any info on it, any updates, any patent updates or anything like that. So there's nothing that people like Ming Chi Ko can work off of, apart from trying to predict what AirPods 2 would be like.
Yeah, part of it is because Apple's a very secretive company. It's probably one of the most secretive companies in the world, honestly, at this point.
But I mean, I guess that's a good thing, just because, I'm not sure whether we're going to be talking about this later, but in recent ads for the iPhone, they've used that as a marketing strategy to, basically say, we're the one company that doesn't sell your data and, use it for external purposes and stuff like that. So I think it's still good that they're secretive like that, but it's also annoying.
Right. And yeah, again, Apple taking the time to do it right, and then rather make a huge PR scene and everyone, and then all the news reports like Forbes and stuff like that, writing reports about, oh, Apple's gonna die. Oh, read this article. Like those are probably the most BS articles I read in my life, honestly, about Apple.
Yeah, and also the insert iOS version here has a nasty surprise. I mean,
Oh my god, dude, it got so bad. So many people exposed them on Twitter. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was funny.
Dang. But dude, Forbes,
but, I mean,
honestly, I don't even trust them anymore. I think they're one of the worst sources, honestly. I'm just saying that. That's my own opinion. I don't know about you guys. If you guys like Forbes, that's totally fine with you, but I'm not a fan. And dude, trust me, Appleosophy will never do that shit to you guys. Like, we'll never do that to you guys ever. I promise.
Yeah, because it's fake news. It's technological fake news, and we don't do that.
Well, the thing is, it's not really fake news. Well, it's more like clickbait if you think about it. Like,
fair
they're basically
enough.
They're just basically posting the same article over and over again, like every day. Like, oh, iPhone has announced a surprise. It's just clickbait so they can get ad revenue, and it's just so unprofessional, and that it's bad.
Well, I mean, the other thing as well is that they post that, and it's just like the littlest thing, I guess, aside from the FaceTime bug. It's finding an issue with the control center or something like that, and then bigging it up like it's a huge problem that everyone needs to be concerned about, when it's something that is really small and basically irrelevant, to the point where it would only be the OCD people or the kind of exacto nerds that would be irritated by it.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, so we'll be talking about AirPods maybe later in this episode, but we're going to be moving on to folding phones and folding iPhones. Okay, so there's now rumors about folding iPhones. What do you know? So, Chris, I just want to ask you a question. What's your thoughts on the folding iPhone concept? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you neutral about it? Like, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, I think it's an amazing concept in practice and on paper, but I think that a folding phone in a day-to-day environment isn't practical, because or at least with the Samsung S10e or something like that, S10 Fold.
It's called this. I think it's just called the Samsung Galaxy Fold or Samsung Fold. You see, you can already tell how bad I am with the Samsung product line.
Well, it's not. I don't blame you, because I mean, in February alone, they announced, I think, 11 or 12 new phones just in February. So I guess it shows how they're just kind of rushing to that market. But
yeah, I'm not. I really don't know. Samsung seems to. I could just say get everything out faster before the competition does, so they can make money before Apple does. That's Samsung's techniques, in my opinion, but.
Well, I mean,
I gotta be honest with you. Talking about the S10. So me as a person liking phones, I like to see my iPhone. I like to see phones. I believe everything matters in design. Okay, so we're talking about the front and the back design. Okay, I thought the front design was beautiful. Like I love it. I couldn't say anything bad about the front design, but the back design, I thought it was terrible, especially with the 3 camera. Holy crap, man! Woo, that got me.
Well, I mean,
but that's just
sorry
me. That's just, I could adapt to it in the future, but that's just me, like in my own opinion. But
well,
you talk.
well, I mean, the thing is that like with the Samsung phones, you know, they're boasting about, oh, we have 4 cameras, 5 cameras, even 6 or whatever,
Yeah.
and there's no purpose to those cameras. They're just there for the fact, oh yeah, let's add 4 cameras because why not? I mean, like, I'm on an iPhone XS Max and I'm fine with just 2 cameras, one for the optical zoom
I feel like
and then
Apple
for the
will add that third.
telephoto.
Right. So, example, I'm going back and thinking when Apple did the 2 camera concept. I'm going back. I'm now thinking about that. I honestly, when I heard of that concept, I honestly wasn't a fan of it. But later, then I understand the technology of it and the purpose, and Apple marketed in a way that it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, having, you know, just even 2 lenses or even 3 lenses, I feel is enough because you know they're all working in a proactive way. Like I think, is it Huawei that did um the 3 optical lenses where it was optical zoom up to I think 10 times or something like that.
I'm not sure. I think so.
Yeah,
It was one of them Android phone companies.
yeah, and I mean it's stuff like that that I find practical because when you start putting in, you know, a photo lens for black and white and things that can, you know, basically done in post editing, I
Right.
feel that it's unnecessary to include that, and then you're also paying for the additional cost of that being implemented into the phone as well. So I think there's a huge waste of money on the consumer's part. Um, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of photo phones, back to you know what we were talking about originally, um, I think that Samsung's phone is you know absolute crap compared to the one just
Well,
released
here,
by.
Think about this, Chris. So we actually never tried the S10. I don't think you have. You haven't either, right?
No, but my friend he actually won one, so I
From
may
who? I'm curious. Who?
try. Basically from a UK carrier called Three.
Oh yeah, I heard of them. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, he entered a contest and he basically won an S10. And I don't know what he's going to do with it, but I'm going to see if I can speak to him and do a you know mini review on it just to get a point of view from you know an Apple CEO. But
Right, because
it's not the foldable
it
phone.
could be a good phone. It could be.
Mm,
But just from our perspective as Apple fans and people who are the Apple and people who report on Apple News, it doesn't attract me. I should say.
yeah. Well, I mean the thing is that you know with a foldable phone, like I was gonna say, the Huawei foldable phone looks way
Mm-hmm.
you know better in terms of how Apple could market it because Apple can take what Huawei's done and implement it into a phone in a way that I think it would be, you know, way more usable because um, if you look at everything Apple Pros not well, yeah, I think it is everything Apple Pros renders,
Oh yeah,
and
I
also
believe so too. I think it's
and
everything
also
Apple Pro.
yeah, and also Apple iDesigners renders. Um, it's basically done in such a way that would mean that you kind of have the screen of, you know, an iPhone XS or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, and then it would fold out. And I think that they'd be able to make it, you know, almost comparable to an iPad Mini design.
Mm-hmm.
The only interesting thing is how would they make it with Face ID? Because would they have to put it on the side or the top? And
That's a good question. Maybe
yeah,
the side.
what would that mean for a
Maybe they do
user?
it like
Because
sorry to interrupt you, but maybe they'll do it on the
it's
side
fine.
like what they did with the iPad Pro.
Yeah, I
Didn't
mean
they put it on the side?
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, well, I mean it has I think 360 Face ID, so you're able to do it, you know, at any point. But yeah, I think that'd be interesting to see how they would implement that if they were to do a foldable phone. but the thing is, with the way that Apple etiquette is, I
Mm-hmm.
think that they'll probably, class it as something that's, kind of tacky and too new to be, launching into a new market as such, or a new niche.
Maybe I think people are just waiting to see what will happen. Because dude, these foldable phones and all these foldable phones that turn into tablets and stuff like that, they're all expensive. They're like $2,000. Like I believe the Samsung Fold is 2,000.
Yeah, it's like 1,900 and some.
Yeah, so it is pretty expensive, but maybe Apple's waiting for the perfect opportunity to bring this in. Because Apple's never first at anything. We learned about that a long time ago. They just do it better.
Yeah, it's all, in the design, like you said earlier. It's just with the way that they do the product and then market it as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's just interesting on their part.
No, yeah, definitely, dude. Well, you want to move on to the next topic now?
Yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to say about foldable phones.
Okay, cool. So this is just we're just gonna let you guys know. This isn't a huge story, but um, hold on. Okay, so streaming so this is a report from Mac Rumors. So streaming music contributed 75% of total U.S. music industry revenues for 2018. The reason I'm reporting this article, I just find it interesting that the statistics of music streaming is going up, and people are not downloading stuff from the iTunes store anymore. And there was a rumor a long time ago that Apple may shut down the iTunes store in 2022 and just focus all on streaming. But that was a rumor from like 3 years ago. But I'm curious if Apple will still do that. But Chris, you have any thoughts on this story?
Um, yeah, I mean, I
And
think
sorry,
that
sorry, sorry to interrupt you, but just to clarify, these streaming services are all like Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play Music, Pandora, and others. In 2018, and those major players were all responsible for 75% of the total music industry revenues.
well, I mean, I think Mac Rumors is totally correct on this because, um, I mean, you go about asking people, oh, what's, music do you listen to? What do you listen to, on? And they, will say, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes,
Right, and
or not iTunes, sorry. And that's the thing is that they'll say everything but iTunes, or, they'll say that they, pirated it or whatever from some website or something like that.
mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think the introduction of Apple Music as a streaming service is kind of like the backup plan for Apple, because they were kind of, predicting it and expecting it to happen just with how technology's going.
Right,
And,
especially
I
and
think,
back then there's Spotify and others. Apple joined the party late, I guess we can say, but I have Apple Music. I gotta say, Apple Music is great. I love Apple Music. I love how it connects with all my Apple devices. Just me, I like Apple Music.
yeah, and I mean, the thing is as well is that with the acquisition of Shazam, I
Right.
also
That was a
think,
that honestly didn't surprise me. It seems like the perfect company for Apple to buy out
yeah, and
because
I mean, I
they're
think it's the
just
perfect way, sorry, to edge the way into that, streaming market even further because
mm-hmm,
of the way that, Shazam operates.
right.
So having, that there, kind of sets himself up for when, the time comes and iTunes needs to shut down. And I think that they will still keep iTunes as an app because, it's essential for, factory restoring iPhones and stuff like that if they don't turn on and, what have you. But then, um,
It'll probably just be like more as an Apple Music app.
yeah, they'll disable it and then, probably try and implement the TV shows bit into, Apple's new streaming service that
Maybe
they're
or
going to
maybe
try
they'll
and
make
do.
it. Sorry, to interrupt you, but maybe they'll make a whole separate app or like have an online way of doing it. I can see them doing that.
Yeah, I mean, what they'll probably try and do is just, um, basically split everything up. They got a pizza cutter and just, okay, this bit's going to the TV app, this bit's going to Apple Music and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Rather than, just fully shutting down everything, they'll probably try and dissect it into, different types of content and then redistribute it to everyone else that was trying to have access to it in the first place. Because um, I'm not sure on the direct statistics for iTunes, but I still think there are people who will buy albums and stuff like that off of iTunes. I mean, my dad does it. He's got a content library of like 25,000 songs, and that's all bought through iTunes, not Apple Music. And so, you never know what the actual statistics are because Apple's kind of
Right.
vague
Well,
with it.
actually, I have some statistic. It's not really generally on Apple, but here's some statistics I'm gonna read out. So the U.S. music industry revenues for 2018 was 75% was streaming, digital downloads was 11%, physical was 12%, okay, and 3% was like other, and it's rounded to like the nearest percentage point, and then the source will be the source of this data is the RIAA, which I don't know what they are, but they seem like good people.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's just the fact that I still know people that buy stuff off of iTunes, and so I definitely think that there's still some relevance to iTunes being an active platform for music.
Yeah. Um. But So I'm gonna read the U.S. music industry streaming revenues. So here's the revenues. These are by billions. Okay, so 2.3 billion, in 2015, 4.0 billion in 2016, and 5.7 billion in 2017, and then 7.4 billion in 2018. So you can obviously see, like, they're definitely making a lot more revenue from it.
Yeah, and I mean, just with the way that they're already trying to get into other streaming services, um, they're preparing for the worst in the instance that it would happen. But in terms of my predictions, I think that time won't come until like they predicted 2022, or even later than that, 2023, 24.
Mm-hmm. But you have anything else you want to talk about this, Chris?
Uh, no, I mean, I've pretty much said everything that, I think is relevant to this, topic of conversation. So I'd be happy to, move on to the next story.
Okay, let's move on to the next story. All right, so moving on to the next story. So Qualcomm, so this is a story. So Qualcomm is running out of time to win 5G modem orders in 2020. iPhones aimed legal battle with Apple. So Qualcomm. Uh, so Chris, when you say Qualcomm, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think with the way that 5G has been introduced, I think it's kind of been a bit poor, especially with what was it, AT&T introducing 5G and
Five? You mean
saying.
like? Are you talking about 5GE or 5G or the fake 5G? There's some AT&T kind of screwed it by now.
Well, I mean, with the way that they've marketed it, I'm not sure which 5G version you're talking about because
5GE is fake LTE, and then 5G plus or whatever. I don't even know what they call it. I'm so lost at this now. I have to go
yeah,
back.
I know, just the
Is
way
this?
that they've tried to market it is just confusing to me.
Yeah, they
And
messed
so
up.
I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna say 5G in general hasn't been introduced in a way that, is very good because I mean, like with me, I'm pretty sure other people and the people listening right now can agree that it's confusing to the point where you know the coming of 5G is unknown. It's kind of like an alien, I guess you could say, because of the fact that it's there, but it's not, if you get what I mean, because it's not all the way there, and yet people are already trying to push it out. So I think giving it more time would be just as fine because I'm fine with 4G LTE, I'm fine with that because
Me too.
I don't.
Dude, my internet. I have Verizon, and I've been very satisfied with Verizon. I've won the Verizon Unlimited plans, and it's been great for me.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like you know anything's being done to like limit that. So I'd be totally fine with staying with 4G for another couple years, and also just the fact that
Mm-hmm.
um it's gotten to the point where there's like legal trouble for something that doesn't even fully exist yet. It just kind of bewilders me. So that's just my opinion on it, but I don't know what your opinion is on it. So what's your opinion on it?
Okay, so my opinion on it is, uh, I'm a little disappointed how slow 5G is going out. I feel like it's going out slow, but at the same time, you got to face reality. It's hard. It's really a challenge for carriers to get 5G out, which I understand. So I respect that. Um, but overall with 5G, I'm kind of excited for 5G. I'm a little disappointed with Verizon's efforts. I think they really need to roll it out faster, but at the same time, I'm pretty satisfied with LTE. I can't lie. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm fine with keeping it going for another couple months, even a year.
no, yeah, definitely. But moving back to this main story, so Qualcomm may be running out of time. Uh, if it wants to supply Apple with 5G modems for its 2020 iPhones, as some rumors suggest. Okay, so in a research note today, analysts at an investment bank, Barclays, said that they originally thought Qualcomm had an opportunity to supply the 5G modems to Apple. They now believe that the time seems to be running out, unless the two companies can settle their legal battles in the next few weeks. So, back in November, it was reported that Apple will tap Intel as its 5G modem supplier instead, but Barclays analysts believe that the modem designed for 2020 iPhones needs to be set now, and that the expected late 2019 availability of Intel's first consumer 5G modem does not work with Apple's timeline. So Apple's now trying to. I feel like at Apple at this point, it's either going to be Qualcomm or Intel, but both players are just. But the issue is both players are not like. They're just not cooperating. They're like, I guess you can say, well, they're not gonna. They're both gonna release it later than Apple wants it to. Like, am I right?
Yeah, and I mean, my mom used to work for Barclays, not in the technology, analyst department, but I mean, still, she, was related to them, so I think that's cool. I mean, just brainstorming now on the podcast, maybe we'll have to try and, interview one of these analysts, see how that goes. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, maybe we could. Yeah.
Um,
And speaking of analysts, we're gonna have some special guests coming up in the next few weeks. But I can't tell you right now. Our special guest for next week we'll have Apple World, who will be joining us next week on March 10th at 2:00 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So you don't want to miss this. We'll be doing a Q&A with him. We'll start with a Q&A, and then he'll be joining us in general discussion of the week's Apple news. So, but Apple World, I also give a shout out to Apple World. He's really great at what he does. But if you guys don't know him, he's Apple World reports the latest Apple news and leaks on YouTube, and he also does reviews and unboxings. But he has over 125,000 subscribers. And I've been following him since I think he was around like 20,000, like when he like first started. But he has pretty great knowledge of Apple news, and we can't wait to have him join the show next week. But I just want to throw that out again, just to make sure any new listeners are joining in.
But I mean, actually getting back to the topic, I think, like you said, they will, come up with this technology late, and I think that, they'll do it late, and then it'll cause some drama
Right.
for Apple.
Well,
And
maybe. I'm not too sure about that, but it's possible.
well, I mean, it could even come to the point where Apple may take it into their own hands and get some of their army style basically um engineers to come up with something.
I
But
can see them doing that.
yeah, I mean, because they have the brains.
The Apple 5G chip. I can see that.
Yeah, and so I
Because
think
don't they
it'll
already?
either.
Sorry, but don't they already make the A12 chip on their own, or like they
Yes, they
have
do.
contractors? Yeah, so I'm sure they can pull that off. It'll take a lot more time and money, but it may be more expensive. But at least they got it done.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is as well is that what they'll probably do is that they'll have this drama of, oh, who's going to supply us, or are we going to end up supplying ourselves? And then what they're going to do is they're probably either going to delay the phone, or they're going to include 4G modems, which they may have, some sort of, I wouldn't say backdoor, but
Mm-hmm.
some sort of, capability of which would mean that, they could, I guess you could say, upgrade them to 5G when that time comes through a software update over the air.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess time will tell. So until they can, come to a conclusion, the, outcome is kind of at the hands of, those companies until they, come out and say, we've got something.
Right. Okay, so I'm ready to move on to the next story now. So the next topic we're gonna be talking about is Apple is working on a future product that will blow you away. So the annual shareholders meeting was held at Apple's Apple Park headquarters on March 1st, and Chief Executive Officer Tim Cook shared some news about Apple's future product plans. He said that Apple is developing products that will blow you away, which could either be Apple AR glasses or Apple Car, according to via Mac Rumors. That's what Mac Rumors believes. But in my opinion, I believe it'll be Apple streaming services. I really don't think Apple's gonna make an Apple Car. I don't see that being possible anymore. Just with the reality with Apple just dropping all those jobs, I just can't see it happening unless they're secretly doing it. But I honestly can't see them. I can't really see it happening at all. Maybe they'll do technology for cars, but not like a whole electric car. I don't see it.
Yeah,
I think that idea was gone a long time ago. Yeah, go on.
I think that they'll probably do something, like a CarPlay 3 or something like that, because
that'd be cool.
I think, yeah, CarPlay is definitely something that has potential to be,
Dude,
a full.
Sorry to interrupt you again, but I thought CarPlay was a success. Like, I see it in a lot of cars now.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is as well is that CarPlay should be a thing that could become a standalone product, just because I think at the moment the only flaw is that you need an iPhone plugged into the car or connected via Bluetooth for it to function. And I think that if you were able to have it without a phone or something like that, it'd be so much cooler, because then you'd have that GPS functionality and everything like that. You just wouldn't have the messages and the podcasts and stuff like that on it, because you need the phone for that. But then you'd still be able to use the essentials, I guess you could say.
That'd be cool.
But in terms of this event, I think they won't bring out anything too big in terms
so
of
you're talking you're talking about the March 2019 event, right?
Yes, and sorry, I don't think they'll bring out anything huge like an iPad or a Mac update or anything like that. I think what they'll try and do is keep it low key, and this could be where we see AirPower, just a smooth and subtle launch for AirPower and the wireless charging case, rather than it being paired with the full blown big launches for 2019.
So I'm gonna continue on with this story. I'm gonna give you my opinion on this, what Apple may release at the March event. So this is cool. So Cook also continued by saying that Apple's ultimate goal is to reduce the price of the 2018 MacBook Air, which is currently at $1,200. So maybe it'll go to $999 or cheaper. But when it comes to Apple Watch and AirPods, Cook said it'll be a long great roadmap of fantastic products that are about to emerge. As for service business, Cook said that service business revenue will double that of 2016 before 2020, and at the end of the month, the Cupertino firm is expected to launch two new services, including a new streaming TV service focused on original films and television dramas, and the so-called Apple News magazine service that we've been seeing. This story was reported on by Appleosophy by one of our writers. So thank you, Jing, for writing this. But here's my opinion on this. So I think for the Apple March 2019 event, I think the two major things will be is Apple's streaming service, number one. Number two will be the Apple News magazine service. And then number three, it'll just be maybe a new iPad Mini 5, and also possibly, I think Apple will do a silent launch on AirPower, and so I also see the iPad, and then for number 4, I see the AirPods 2. But
yeah,
it's a little sketchy right now for the AirPods. I really think I'll say it's 40% possible it'll release this month, but anything's possible.
I mean, I think that is perfectly valid because there's, so much variability to this event. It could go any which way that, Apple wants it to go, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's already so much on the table that everyone's already expecting.
Right.
So I guess it's just, us waiting until, we can, either gather info from, an inside source or, just wait until the event.
No, yeah. But yeah, that's just what I predict at the time right now. But yeah. So let's move on to a new story. So Apple is expanding. So Apple's expanding. There's more to iPhone campaign with new videos. So Apple today. Apple announced this on March 2nd. So about yesterday. So Apple's expanded their more to iPhone marketing campaign to France and the United Kingdom after launching in Germany late last year. So a new Why iPhone page on Apple's website in each country highlights reasons why an iPhone is more than the device in your hands, ranging from Apple's environmental responsibility to iOS 12 performance improvements to the privacy of features such as Face ID, Apple Maps, and also, yes, FaceTime. So here's a little statement what Apple says about privacy in these campaigns. So here's what they say. They say, at Apple, we believe that your data privacy is fundamental human right. Your personal data belongs to you and no one else. And while some companies sell your data, we don't. And we tell you if we collect your data and let them know how it's used. For instance, we may utilize the data to make iPhone more user-friendly. And you can always change your settings to limit the amount of information that could be accessed. And including that, Apple today also shared 3 new There's More to iPhone videos on its YouTube channel in the United Kingdom and France. So you can watch these ads on the Apple United Kingdom page. But what's interesting is they're not available in... What makes it interesting, because they're not available... this campaign is not available in the United States. So, Chris, why do you think they did that? You think it's just something they're testing out? What are your thoughts on this?
I think it is something that they're trying to test out because when you normally think of testing, you think straight up most of the time, at least, it's in the US because with the way that product testing has evolved, everything's always
Right.
San Francisco type stuff. That's what's happening with 5G. There's it's mostly in the US. I think there's some other European testing centers going on for 5G, but there's a whole range of things for Apple to test, and I think that it's good that they're branching out to Europe and Eurasia basically to do that, because um, these ads, there was a lot of concern over especially GDPR. I'm not sure that you've heard of it before.
No, trust me, I heard of it.
Yeah, and yeah, that was a huge scandal basically when FaceTime had that bug, because everyone is so concerned about their data. Not really. In the UK and Europe and stuff like that with GDPR, and so there's a huge kind of
so maybe
flipping.
Apple was in that position. They felt like they needed to do something because
Yeah, and
GDPR.
well, it wasn't the need to do something or to advertise on it. It's just the fact that it happened, and they want to gain back that customer loyalty, which they could have potentially lost by demonstrating, oh, we had a problem, we had an oopsie, we fixed it, we've done everything that we can, and your data is still safe, and we're not gonna make sure that happens, because that bug was big for Apple, and these ads are basically trying to gain back the fanboy culture of Apple. Basically, they're trying to bring it back, and so I think that that's good, and the fact that they're trying to do localized advertising for these special mishaps, I guess you could say.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting, Chris.
Mm.
But my thoughts on this is I think these campaigns are just focused on Europe, so I think they're going to expand them more in Europe, and we'll see where they go from then in the future. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the next story now. We're almost done with this week's news, but we got a few more stories to go. But this story is just coming in now. But according to a news source, iPad Insight, Apple Watch Series 3 is on sale at Target for only $200. So $199. So according to
you okay there?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, so according to iPad Insight, the Apple Watch Series 3 GPS is on sale there for only $200. This is $29. This is 29% off the normal retail price of $279. And what's cool about this, Target's also offering free 2-day shipping on it as well. But bear in mind, this is the only model, size, and color on sale, and it's only online only. So it has to be the 38mm Apple Watch Space Gray Series 3 with GPS. And it's on sale for $200. So it's interesting because I see these sales sometimes, but sometimes they're getting a little bit more rare. But just recently I've been starting to see them more. So it's kind of cool to see the Series 3 discounted, because I have the first generation Apple Watch still, and I should get an upgrade soon.
Yeah, you need to get an upgrade as soon as possible, Halden.
Well, I don't need it. The funny thing is, like, I'm fine with my first gen. It does everything I need. I'm just like, I only feel like I need a new Apple Watch if it just breaks, and mine hasn't broke at all. So.
Oh, fair enough.
See, I don't want to be wasteful, if you know what I mean. Like.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But.
Yeah, just my input. I think that that it's good that they're doing this deal, because while they're just probably trying to get it off back order, trying to get it cleared.
Yeah, just trying.
I also think it's a good opportunity for people to upgrade, because my cousin, she took advantage of this deal, and she just upgraded to an Apple Watch Series 3 from a Series 1, and she's so mesmerized with all the new features that it has, just because it's just a big leap in terms of technology, in terms of the battery capacity and the fluidity of the system, I guess you could say. And
Right.
I think that's the main focus of this offer. So other than that, if
Yeah,
they were
I think
offering a
yeah.
Series 4,
Mm-hmm.
then I think it would be a whole lot, a whole different situation. But because it's a Series 3, it's not too big of a leap, if you get what I mean.
No, no, yeah, I get what you mean. Like, it's not like the Series 1 or like the Series 2. It's a 3, and it's only one generation back, which isn't a huge big deal. It's a good price. Honestly, do believe
Yeah,
it's worth $200 instead of, like, I think Apple sells it for $250 on Apple.com. Maybe more. But I think it's a good deal.
yeah. And I mean, it's money off for you guys, so I think it's worth the money if you're looking to upgrade.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to the next story. Apple announces shot on iPhone challenge winners. So Apple has named 10 winners of its Shot on iPhone challenge, whose photos will be featured in billboards around the world in Apple retail stores and online. So back in January 2019, Apple's this was announced on Apple's newsroom, but they announced the Shot on iPhone challenge with the goal of celebrating the photography capabilities of the iPhone. Apple's panel of judges now has picked they have now picked 10 winning photos from around the world and shot from the range of models from the iPhone 7 to the iPhone XS Max. And from my first impression on them, they look really cool. But if you guys want to view these photos yourself, we have them available on Appleosophy.com. You can search for the article, or you can view this on Apple Newsroom at apple.com/newsroom. But these photos will be featured in billboards in select cities, in Apple retail stores, and online. But originally, the rule of this challenge didn't include any payment of using the winning photos, but in the company's marketing efforts. But after a backlash, uh, Apple changed the rules to specify that it would pay an unspecified licensing fee. So they will get so Apple will pay them money for the photos. But Chris, so have you seen the winners yet, Chris?
Yes, I have, and I mean, I think the iPhone photography is, it's amazing because, it's one lens or two lens cameras on, a smartphone, and,
Right.
they're to the point where they're of, a professional, you know, um, quality, and up to, the point where it would be something like, um, a DSLR photo or an LS, is it an LSR or something like that? The DSLR and
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, an LSR or something like that. Um, yeah, and I think it's just the fact that these have been taken on freaking smartphones, and then they're being used in advertisements, on billboards, on the side of buildings even. Um, so I think it's really amazing that they're pushing that content, because you don't see Samsung doing that, because you already know that Samsung's inferior. You just look at the what is it, the DSIO mark scores, and you instantly see how the iPhone's already on top. It's a game pretty much, and I do a lot of iPhone photography myself, and you can even watch the video that I did in December
Yeah, it's
with
up
the
on the Appleosophy YouTube channel, I believe.
yes, you can. So youtube.com/Appleosophy, and you know that video, totally unedited in terms of stabilization and everything. Just my iPhone XS Max and the DJI Osmo, and you see it there. It's amazing for what it is, and that was handheld. That was just using the DJI one, but
Right.
then connecting it to my tripod, and I went down to Brighton a few weeks ago, and filmed my friend wearing my Beats Skyline headphones that I actually got with the offer that we talked about, I think 2 episodes ago.
Oh, yeah, I think 2 episodes ago. You're right. Believe we're on episode 7, so 6.
Yeah, it was episode 5.
Yeah, episode 5.
No, I thought it was 5. Yeah, and yeah. So I got a video of him and attaching it to my tripod, and then with the Osmo. It's an insane photography machine, pretty much. I mean,
yeah, it looks really nice, dude.
Just as long as you have it then and there, you're able to do pretty much anything that you like. And with the help of the apps on the App Store, you're able to do so much. You could, basically turn your smartphone camera into a DSLR through an app, which is, amazing considering that, you have a Nikon camera that's like, $1,000 plus a $600 lens, when you could just pay $1,100 and have a handset, a phone, a music player, and just all that. Or in Steve Jobs' words, an iPod, an internet communicator, and a phone, plus a camera. But I mean, I think the photography game on an iPhone is simply just way better than anything that an Android could offer, unless you're on like the Hydrogen One or something like that.
No, I love the iPhone camera. It's always been one of the greatest things about having an iPhone. So I'd like to move on to the last story of today's episode. So Apple laid off 190 workers in its self-driving car division. So from a story from eGadget, after early confirmation, Apple is officially laying off workers from its self-driving car team. The company sent out a letter to the California Development Department, warning that it will let go of 190 Project Titan employees in Santa Clara and Sunnyvale. But the move will take place April 16th. It will mostly affect engineers, with 124 losing their positions. As before, some of the groups involved in Titan are moving in other parts of the company to support AI and other efforts. But this isn't the first round of layoffs from Project Titan, and Apple cut many jobs in 2016, which shifted from developing a full-fledged car just to being a underlying platform. But there's pressure. There's more pressure than before to take action, though. But yeah, it's interesting to see the employment rate going down. Just gives us a hint that we won't really see a full car from Apple anymore. And I really don't expect that. Like, I do expect Apple working on something like CarPlay 3 and maybe like car technology, but or partnering with a company to make cars better. But I can't see them making a car alone. But Chris, what are your thoughts on this? You have any thoughts?
I mean, I don't think that they would make a car. Like, with the responsibilities of making a car and, having it, in an insurance database and, on a driving registry and everything like that, I think, it'd be too much hassle for them to, try and develop something. And I think what the, case will end up being is what they'll do is, work with Elon Musk, pretty much. And, although he's, hosting Meme Review and everything like that, he's a busy guy. I think, Tim Cook working with, Elon would be something, revolutionary, because, you've got a capable car with, already loads of technology inside it. And then, the kind of design of something that Apple would make. I think it'd be something where you'd have just something that's absolutely extraordinary, especially with the way that Elon is so down to earth, or I guess you could say up to Mars, with the hashtag colonize Mars thing.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah, and I think he'd be able to kind of I guess you could say, coax Tim Cook into being, a little more relaxed in terms of, making systems for a car, because, a Tesla is, not just a car, it's a fun vehicle to have because you have all the Easter eggs with it. And so I think it'd be interesting to see, what Elon could do if he worked with Tim Cook and, the Apple design team.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I would like to see, honestly, like when I hear the reports Apple's working on a car, my first thought was like, I wonder how this is gonna go, and I find it impressive that they at least tried it out, so at least they're interested. But maybe we'll learn more in the future what Apple's efforts are more and what they're really working on. But yeah, okay, everyone. I'd like to say thank you for listening to today's episode of Appleosophy Weekly, or I should say for this week's episode. But be sure to follow us on Instagram at APPLEOSOPHY at Appleosophy. Check out our Twitter and Facebook page. And for more Apple news and rumors and leaks, be sure to visit our website at appleosophy.com. All right. So, Chris, thank you for joining today's episode.
Yep, and, thank you to everyone listening. Keep making sure that you are interacting with us, because we want to interact with you. We want to, talk with you guys on DM and everything. So just keep doing what you're doing, guys.
Right. And just a reminder, it's the last time I'll say this, I promise this. YouTuber Apple World is going to join Appleosophy Weekly on March 10th at 2 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time. Be sure to send a reminder. You don't want to miss this episode. It's going to be great. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I hope everyone has a great week.
See ya.
Gotta slow up, gotta shake this high. Gotta take a minute just to ease my mind. Cause if I don't walk, then I get caught out. And I'll be falling all the way down. 100 headlights, making me blind. All of your pleasures, catching my eye. If I jump once, then I never think twice. But your temptation's making me stay another night. And my senses only lie to me, lie to me. I don't know how it feels so right to me, right to me. I gotta check myself before I get what I want. Find out it's not what I thought it was. And you know I gotta slow up, gotta shake this high. Gotta take a minute just to ease my mind. Cause if I don't walk, then I get caught out. And I'll be falling all the way down. Turn my head and shut my eyes. Doesn't even matter if I'm wrong or right. Cause if I don't walk, I keep messing around. And I'll be falling all the way down. Tell myself leave while I'm still strong. Don't look back till I'm 10 miles gone. And when the road stops, I'm gonna keep on until I end up in the place that I belong. But the pressure's pushing me back again, telling me not to pretend there's any use even trying to get you out my head. So I lift my feet off the ground and I'm gonna walk right out. Gotta slow up, gotta shake this high. Gotta take a minute just to ease my mind. Cause if I don't walk, then I get caught out. And I'll be falling all the way down. Turn my head won't get caught in the old fly trap. Run away, never come back. No way, I'm going down like that. No, no, run away. No, I can get caught up again. No way, no. Gotta slow up, gotta shake this high. Gotta take a minute just to ease my mind. Man, I get caught out. Hey, now I'll be falling all the way. I'll be falling all the way down. Shut my eyes. Don't matter if I'm wrong or right. Just matter I keep messing around. And now I'll be falling all the way down. Yeah. I'm better walk now. I'm better walk now. Yeah. No, no, no. Better walk. Yeah, no.
Sometimes Jupiter's like that, and they can't find something to satisfy me. Look.
Even though you're bad for me, I know you're the one that I'm thinking. Got me feeling so incredible. Would you mind maybe linking? Love me, baby, how you doing? Can you let me know? Love me, thank you, leave me, put it down. Then it's time to go. Get it like you love me, but you don't, boy, it's just for sure. Take it or leave it, you gotta take it or leave it like Don't want you in my bloodline, just wanna have a good time, ain't no need to apologize, no, but you gon' have to let this shit go. Don't want you in my bloodline, not tryna make you all mine, ain't no need to apologize, no, but you gon' have to let this shit go, No, we won't be talking the next day. I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't looking for my one true love. Yeah, that ship sailed away. Love me, baby, how you doing? Can you let me know? Love me, thank you, leave me, put it down. Then it's time to go. Get it like you love me, but you don't, boy, it's just for sure. Take it or leave it, you gotta take it or leave it like Don't want you in my bloodline, just wanna have a good time, ain't no need to apologize, no, but you gon' have to let this shit go. Don't want you in my bloodline, not tryna make you all mine, ain't no need to apologize, no, but you gon' have to let this shit go. sun comes up, we can tell a new lie. We can do